Across China, the sound of looms has fallen silent, the horns of cargo trucks have vanished, and the end-of-shift bells have faded into quiet. In their place come the cries of those who lost their jobs and the lament of business owners pushed into bankruptcy. On social media, many new videos appear every day, showing factories shutting down, equipment being sold off in the night, and owners quietly gathering their papers, then disappearing. From Guangdong to Zhejiang, and from Shenzhen to Tianjin, the scenes repeat so often that they feel chilling. Dust covers production lines, workers wander in search of new jobs, and company signs are taken down, signaling that a prosperous era has ended. Collapse is no longer just news, it has become the daily rhythm of China's economy.
I've
worked at this factory for years, and now it's shutting down in just a few days. A lot of us women are about to lose our jobs. It's really hard to walk away from this place. Working here for so long, I kinda grew really attached to it. Soon, the factory's gonna close for good.
Since early 2025, each day, more than 400 manufacturing plants in China have closed. More than 67% of private firms have gone bankrupt due to heavy debts and a shrinking market. Industries that once formed the backbone, machinery, textiles, electronics, and construction materials, have fallen into a state of half-alive, half-dead stagnation. In construction materials alone, during the past 2 years, more than 4,500 factories producing aluminum frames, doors, glass, and soundproof materials have gone bankrupt. In Guangdong, many factories now survive by paying half wages or delaying salaries for 3 to 4 months. Some listed companies have also begun cutting employee social insurance. People once seen as middle class now face a life of no pay but still working because they know that leaving would lead to something worse outside. The slow death of businesses does not unfold with noise, it spreads like a hidden crack, from postponed invoices and returned orders until the factory's power board finally goes dark.
职业行情太难了。福州这边
The situation in the sewing industry right now is really rough. Over here, a big factory with about 200 workers just shut down. All the equipment is being scrapped as waste metal. It only managed to run for, a year and a half. All the machines were from the Czech Republic. Baskets, chairs, stuff like that, anyone who wants them can just take them.
当初老板投资了700-800万。
At the start, the boss put in 8 million yuan to set up this press and deep drawing mold factory. But with the workers' salaries, the rent on the place, the payments to the material suppliers piling up, the cash flow just dried up. And in the end, the factory went under. Seeing it now, it really hurts. All the machines inside, they were all bought brand new back then. Used for only, 2 or 3 years. They still look like, 90% new. But we still have to let them go for cheap now. And it's nowhere near enough to cover the boss's debts.
There was a time when factory owners were symbols of success and status, but now they have become debtors. Rents have risen, bank interest weighs heavily, and overseas orders have vanished. Many have been forced to sell off equipment and to withdraw their remaining retirement funds to cover their debts. In Jiangxi, a mechanical workshop owner, after 2 years of losses, sold all his machines for only 1/3 of their value, simply to avoid a court seizure. In Foshan, the owner of a ceramics factory who once employed hundreds, left the city quietly in the night because he could no longer afford the rent on his workshop. They once dreamed of becoming industrial entrepreneurs, and now all that remains is a pile of scrap metal. This collapse is not only a business failure, it is the fracture of faith in a development model praised by the authorities for 4 decades.
Debt has basically become standard for people like us who run factories now. And honestly, if you're a boss these days and you don't owe anything, you're basically top of the class in this industry. But still, I just don't get it. Orders haven't really dropped. And it's not like the workers are slacking off. So why aren't we making any profit? When you really sit down and do the math, take away the machines and equipment, And your wallet is emptier than your face looks in the mirror. You always know exactly where the money came in from. But where it disappeared to, it's always this blur you can't quite explain.
The wave of recession has reached every household, and in second-tier and third-tier cities, many people have begun living as they did in the 1990s, cutting food costs, wearing old clothes again, and avoiding illness. Many young people have left the cities and returned to their villages, growing vegetables to sustain themselves, just to get through each day. People used to say meat is more expensive than vegetables. Now it's the opposite. Clean vegetables cost more than meat, yet people still buy less meat because they no longer have even a few thousand yuan. In Beijing, an ordinary lunch costing 30 yuan has become a burden for office workers whose average salary of 6,000 yuan a month is gone before the month ends, as they must pay for housing, food, transport, insurance, and their children's education. No one dares claim to live comfortably, everyone is simply trying to survive. Compared with the 1980s, incomes have risen many times, but welfare has declined, and living costs have increased hundreds of times. Chinese people now have more money, yet their real lives have become poorer.
大家今年都穷到什么地步了？
This year, it's like people have gotten painfully poor. A lot of folks can't even pull together 2,000 yuan. And after living more than 30 years, so many of them say they picked wrong: school, work, marriage, all of it. They kept making the wrong calls, big ones, small ones. No plan, no one to guide them. And by the time they realized it, it was already too late. Their job is something anyone could do. They bought a home when prices were at their peak. Their kids' grades are just as so-so. So yeah, they fall into this panic. They don't know where their future even is. Not long ago, a classmate of mine was suddenly diagnosed with cancer. And he's still lying there in a hospital bed. The moment I saw him, something just hit me. Life's only a few decades. And we really don't have to cling to all that outside stuff. We came into this world just to experience it. And being able to eat and drink is already enough. We're like mayflies drifting under the sky. Like a single grain of millet in this huge sea.
The labor market is in turmoil, as young graduates have no jobs, middle-aged workers are laid off, and older workers do not dare retire. Many companies have stopped paying wages but have not dismissed staff to avoid compensation, while employees do not dare resign because no place outside will take them, and both sides endure in silence, like a chess match in which whoever moves first will lose. The state of working without pay has become common, and some firms issue only 500 to 1,000 yuan as a living allowance, a scene that recalls the industrial crisis of the former Soviet Union, as workers still went to the factory, even when the production lines had stopped.
给大家分享一下上海现在真实的就业环境。就拿我自己来说吧，
Shanghai's job market right now. I just want to share a bit of what it's really like. Take me, for example. I got laid off in May this year. And I've been out of work for more than half a year now. These past 3 months, I haven't had a single interview. I'm not exaggerating, not one invitation, nothing. And this is happening even though I check job apps for 2-3 hours every day. And send out my resume to 5-6 companies a day. When I apply to small companies, no one even looks at it. And when I try big companies, they just ignore me. I don't even know if those listings are ghost jobs or something else. What I do feel is that right now, there are just way fewer real job openings out there.
When factories die, the supply chain dies with them, and when production stops, suppliers of materials, transport, and finance collapse as well. At the same time, real estate, the pillar that once saved the economy through every downturn, has fallen, and by October 2025, the average housing price in Beijing was only 42,500 yuan per square meter, down nearly 35% from 2022. In outer districts such as Yinzhou and Daxing, homes once priced at 5 million now cost a little over 3 million, yet still find no buyers, as cities lose their young people, while the middle-aged bend under the debt of apartments that have lost their value. The consumer market has narrowed, exports have fallen, and private investment has dropped sharply, while foreign capital has fled, and multinational firms have withdrawn from Shanghai and Guangzhou, leaving empty offices behind. Behind the wall of 5% growth figures, there are millions of people who have lost their livelihoods.
如果上海的房价再继续下跌，
If housing prices in Shanghai drop another 30%, there's a good chance things will play out like this. The middle class will go bankrupt almost instantly. A lot of companies will collapse one after another. And firms will start cutting staff on a huge scale. There'll be waves of divorces. And auctioned homes will surge like crazy. By then, it's something none of us could really handle. So if that's the outcome, would you still hope for housing prices to fall?
Many international economists note that China is not facing a short-term downturn, but a structural decline, as public debt has piled up, consumption has weakened, production has lost its edge, the population is falling fast, and most importantly, social confidence has collapsed. A Beijing analyst said quietly that everyone knows the growth data is false, but no one dares tell the truth, because telling the truth would harm themselves.